Up in the wide blue sky, where the air sparkles and the wind hums its favorite tune, there lived a tiny cloud named Nimbo. Nimbo wasn't like the big, fluffy clouds that drifted proudly across the sky. He was small, puff-sized, really soft as cotton and shy as a whisper. Every day, he floated with the other clouds, watching them grow big and gray and mighty. They rumbled with thunder, flashed with lightning, and showered the world with rain. And every time they did, the earth below would sparkle, the rivers would dance, the flowers would bloom, and children would splash in puddles. Oh, how Nimbo wished he could do that too. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't rain. Not a single drop. He puffed up his cheeks, spun in circles, and even tried shaking himself like a wet dog, but only a few sparkly mistdrops came out, vanishing before they reached the ground. The other clouds chuckled kindly. "Oh, Nimbo," they said, "you're too little to rain. Just float and enjoy the sky." But Nimbo didn't want to just float. He wanted to rain, to help the earth, to make the flowers smile, to do something important. One morning, as the sun yawned awake and painted the sky gold, Nimbo made a decision. He puffed up his chest well, what little chest he had, and said to himself, "I'm going to find out how to rain, no matter what." So off he floated, away from his cloud family, across the great sky. He passed the sleepy moon heading to bed, waved at the early birds flying in Avisha, and followed the glowing trail of sunrise. The journey wasn't easy. The higher he went, the colder it got. The wind whooshed around him, twisting his fluffy shape into funny forms. A bunny, a teapot, even a lumpy balloon. Still, he laughed and kept going. At last, he reached the edge of the Rainbow Ridge, where all colors are born after a rainstorm. There, perched on a sunbeam, sat the wise old rainbow herself. Her colors shimmered like liquid jewels. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. She looked at Nimbo kindly. Well, a tiny what brings a little puff like you so far from home?" Nimbo blushed a soft pink. "I want to rain, Miss Rainbow, but I don't know how. The big clouds can do it, but I can't. Can you teach me?" The rainbow's laughter was gentle, like wind chimes in the morning. "Oh, sweet cloud. To rain, you need more than water. You need heart? Heart?" Nimbo tilted in confusion. "Yes," said the rainbow, "you must feel what the earth feels. Its thirst, its warmth, its dreams. When your heart is full of care for the world below, your drops will come." Nimbo blinked. That sounded complicated, but he nodded and thanked her, and set off again, determined to find out what feeling the earth really meant. As he drifted lower, he noticed how much was happening below. The fields were turning dry. The flowers drooped, tired and thirsty. Even the river was shrinking, its song quieter than before. Nimbo felt a little ache inside his puffy chest. "I wish I could help," he whispered. And as he said that, something strange happened. He felt a cool tingle run through him. A tiny drop of water formed at his edge and fell. It drifted down, sparkling like a diamond, and landed on a yellow daisy. The flower lifted its head and smiled. "Oh!" gasped Nimbo. "Did I just rain?" But it was only one drop. Nimbo wanted to do more. He tried to gather more mist from the air, pulling bits of vapor and tiny water sparkles into himself. Slowly, he grew bigger, not huge, but enough to cast a little shadow on the ground. He could see the children below looking up, waving, thinking maybe rain was coming. But before he could try again, the wind came rushing through. Whoop! It pushed him sideways, spinning him like a cotton ball in a storm. He tumbled and bounced until he landed near a giant thundercloud named Grizz. Grizza was enormous, rumbling like a sleepy bear. "Who dares bump into me?" he growled. I'm sorry," said Nimbo. "I'm just trying to learn how to rain." Grizzle's thunder softened to a chuckle. You're too small. You'll never make enough water to matter." That hurt Nimbo's little heart. But instead of arguing, he simply said, "Maybe not yet, but I can try." Grizzler rolled his big cloudy eyes and rumbled off toward the mountains, leaving Nimbo behind. For a moment, Nimbo felt smaller than ever. He floated quietly, watching the world below, the parched ground, the fading flowers, the still trees. He wanted to help so badly. He squeezed his fluffy edges, hoping to push out even one more drop. And then something magical happened. A breeze passed through the valley, carrying whispers of the dry earth, the sighs of the trees, the quiet hum of life waiting below. Nimbo listened, really listened, and suddenly he felt it, the thirst, the hope, the patience of everything below him. He felt his heart swelled with care, with love, with understanding. And just like the rainbow said, his heart became full. Then, plop, a drop, then another, plip, plop, drip, drop. Before he knew it, Nimbo was raining. Tiny drops, sparkling like silver dust, fell from him and danced down to the ground. The dry earth sighed with joy. The flowers opened their petals. Children below ran out, giggling and spinning, feeling the cool sprinkles on their cheeks. "Look!" shouted one little boy. "It's raining." "But only a little," said his sister, smiling. "A baby cloud must be learning." Up in the sky, Nimbo beamed brighter than he ever had before. He wasn't a he wasn't a mighty storm, but he had rained his very first rain. The rainbow appeared faintly in the distance, shining through his drizzle. Her voice echoed softly, "See, little one, you don't need to be big to make a difference." Nimbo twirled happily, sending out a few more tiny drops, each one landing where it was needed most. The river began to sing again, the flowers stood tall, and the wind whispered, "Thank you, little cloud." As the day faded into evening, Nimbo looked down one last time. The world below glowed in sunset light, alive and smiling. He felt lighter, not because he had lost water, but because he had found purpose. He drifted back toward his cloud family, glowing faintly gold from the setting sun. The big clouds gathered around him, surprised. "Nimbo, you did it!" They cheered. "You really rained." He blushed in fluffy pride. "I just listened," he said, to the world below. From that day on, whenever the skies were dry and the air grew warm, Nimbo would float down to help. He never made thunder or lightning, just gentle showers, light and playful, the kinds that make children laugh and flowers dance. And sometimes, when the rainbow curved across the sky, she'd wink and say, "Well done, my little cloud. You found your heart." So if you ever see soft raindrops falling from a tiny cloud on a sunny day, maybe, just maybe, it's Nimbo, the little cloud who wanted to rain, sprinkling the world with a little bit of love. And remember, you don't need to be big to make a big difference. All it takes is a caring heart. Good night, little dreamers. And may your hearts, like Nimbo's, always find their way to shine.